Have you ever wondered, why can't I connect with anyone today? I know I have. Let's face it, connecting can be magical, and that feels really good. But sometimes even our best attempts just don't work out, and then it is just downright awkward. Back in 2008, my very first day-long speech, I had this very experience. Could not connect with anybody, and I remember mid-morning thinking to myself, oh goodness, how am I gonna fix this? Now I can think of 5 reasons why connecting can be difficult. 2 are related to how we feel about the other person, and we will talk about that in my next video. The other 3 reasons why connecting can be difficult are related to how we feel within ourselves. And that's what I want to talk about today. That day back in 2008, I was the prey of all 3 at the same time. And here, I bet you can relate to at least one of them. Number 1, sometimes it's difficult to connect because we are feeling self-conscious. And so our lack of self-confidence just gets in the way. Number 2, sometimes we're so focused on creating the best possible impression that we're focused on ourselves rather than focusing on the other person. And as a result, the connection does not happen. Or number 3, sometimes we're overwhelmed with life or overwhelmed by the circumstances. Being so focused into resolving all of that into our own heads, we're just not available for an outward connection. Now, if you can relate with those, I'm guessing that you can also relate with the solution that I have found on how to fix it. How I got myself in the right mindset to become a better connector. But before I tell you this, let me just tell you that I'm also about to reveal one of the best kept secrets in positive psychology. Something that I have learned directly from the late Christopher Peterson and from Martin Seligman, the fathers of positive psychology, and something hardly anyone ever talks about. So you'll want to be here for that. So here's what happened. After having put up a facade of trying to be super polished and professional in every fiber of my being for as long as I could, there came a point where I couldn't anymore. And so I let my guard down and I just was a little bit more goofy for a few minutes. And that's when I connected with people. I just became me. And of course you're gonna say like, well, of course, MJ, if you're you, you're gonna connect with others. That's very obvious. But here's the part that I want you to really understand. I focused on my strengths for a minute, as opposed to trying to fix what I thought might have been my weaknesses. Now let's talk about what a strength is. In the brain, an area of strength looks like a bunch of mature, glorious, full-grown trees with all of their branches, all of their connections, all of the resources that live there. Whereas an area of weakness looks like, Charlie Brown's tree, the cute little seedling that was just planted last year. There's a lot less activity over here, a lot less resourcefulness, a lot less ability to think creatively and to do things that are extraordinary in this department than in that department. And that is why focusing on our strengths always will be more successful than trying to fix our weaknesses. So back to my presentation, when I connected with my strengths, I connected with others, and now I want to help you do the very same thing. But first, you have to identify your strengths. Now, there's very many different strength assessments out there, and they each go hand in hand with a slightly different definition of what a strength really is. But what most of them agree on is that a strength should be energizing. So it's not something that you are good at, but that you would rather not have to do too often because you hate it. It's something that you naturally seek to do because you love it. Strengths should also be enduring, so they don't change with the seasons or with your job assignments. They are something that you have been for a long time, probably even since childhood. Strengths are also something that is recognized in you from others. So even those who know the true you that you only show to the select few will say that is absolutely who you are. And so strengths should also feel authentic. When you look at your results, you shouldn't go like, what? This is me? You should be like, yep, absolutely, I recognize myself there. So I would like to invite you, if you haven't done so already, to take the VIA Strength Assessment. The link to it is in the description below. And by the way, while you're down there, you might want to hit the like button or the subscribe button. That would really help me out. Thank you very much. Gratitude is one of my top strengths, and so thank you for giving me a chance to practice right here. Okay, back to business. Once you have taken the VIA Strength Assessment, you can't just take your results as the word of God. you have to do a validation exercise, and that is the part no one ever talks about. Now, here's why you have to validate your results. Number one, sometimes we don't interpret the questions exactly the way they were intended, and that skews our results. Number two, sometimes we are just having a day where we feel a little more funny or peppy or wise than usual. And as a result, we don't answer the questions the way we would on a different day, and that also will change what rises to the top as our top strengths. And number three, at least it is the case with the VIA, if you have strengths that are coming out as just the exact same level, they will be shown in your result in alphabetical order. If you have equally strong strengths in number 5, 6, and 7, for example, but you just look at your top 5, you might be missing out on something very important. So here's how you do the validation exercise. List out your top 8, maybe even 10 strengths, whatever feels like it has the potential to be in your top 5. And then ask yourself, is this energizing to me? Do I love using this strength? If so, give it a check mark. Is this something that has been enduring in my life? Have I been like this for a long time? If so, another check mark. Is this something that others would recognize in me? If so, a check mark. And does that feel authentic? If so, one more check mark. Your true strengths should have at least 3 check marks, better if they get all 4. Now, once you own your results, once you know what your real top 3 to 5 strengths really is, it is time to use them in service of human connections. So here's how you do it. Let's say you have love of learning in your top 5. Well, when you meet someone new, ask them questions, maybe about the cuisine of their ethnical background, maybe about what they do for a living, maybe about how it's like to be the parent of 5 kids. You'll learn something, it'll be good for you, and everybody loves teaching something to somebody else. So it will make them feel good, guaranteed connection. Let's say another one of your strengths is appreciation of beauty and excellence. It will be easy for you to find something to appreciate when you meet someone new. Well, mention it. Let them know. Again, they will love it, guaranteed connection. So you see, when you tap into your strengths, you can become more resourceful, more creative, think outside of the box to be your true self. Let go of self-consciousness, because you know you got some good strengths in your corner. Let go of being overwhelmed, because you know you're good at connecting now. And let go of trying to create a good impression, because you know that with your strengths, it's just going to happen naturally. You don't have to force it. And as you use your strengths, you'll just become a better connector. Now, this channel is full of other methods for connecting with others, so I hope that you will explore a little bit. But in particular, I would like to invite you to check out this video on how to use personal keywords to help us be at our best, even when we are overwhelmed with life. My friends, thanks for being here today, and please come back and visit soon.